Syracuse squared off against Duke in the Carrier Dome last night for one of the year's most highly anticipated matchups. Reporter Jennerjahn is at Syracuse University right now to break down what happened and what led to the Orange defeat.
Thanks, Keenan. The Orange are in desperate need of a win against a ranked team to help bolster their NCAA tournament resume. With Duke being only the second-ranked team they've seen on their schedule this season, this game was big. 31,000 fans in the stands. It was exciting. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Coach Jim Boeheim and Coach Mike Krzyzewski, longtime friends and competitors, exchanged pleasantries. Elijah Hughes shoots an early shot, makes it. He's ranked third in the country along with Buddy Boeheim for three-point basket duos. There's Boeheim right there with another three-pointer for the Orange. 10 minutes left in the first half, and the Orange are hanging on to the lead. Freshman Joe Girard drives down the middle, assists Quincy Guerrier for a layup. Now in the second half, the Orange lose the lead they held on to for so long in the first. Cassius Stanley with the alley-oop to Vernon Carey Jr. Marek Dolajai in transition lays in 2 more points for the Orange. He led his team with 22 total points despite later fouling out. With 12 minutes to go, Duke collects a long rebound, and Alex O'Connell slams one in for the Blue Devils, putting Hughes at a 15-point deficit. Girard off a pass from Boeheim steps and makes a three from well outside the paint. He's been a star for the Orange this season and finished the game with 3 triples and 17 points. A minute later, he takes the ball down the court and returns the favor to Boeheim. Duke responds with an and one as Stanley finishes with contact. Final score 97-88, and Duke would be the one that got away. Boeheim and Girard say their shooting game was off and was the deciding factor in the loss.
We played just as bad as it gets. I think shooting the ball, and that's what we rely on. And to be 5-6 points with 4 or 5 minutes left is it's a good sign. I mean, you want to win those, but we're getting a lot better as a team early on in the year. I don't think we would have been able to fight back like that.
Well, we're on and we're making threes and we're making the shots that we usually make. We can beat anybody in the country, and I feel like if we made a lot of the shots that we usually do, we would have been even closer and probably won the game tonight. But credit to Duke, they played a really great game.
The Orange fall to an overall record of 13-9. They're looking at 6-5 in the conference. Keenan?
Alexandra, this was the 16th time the two teams met, and it seems like every time they meet, it's a huge matchup. How would you say the anticipation was for this year's game compared with others?
Yeah, well, to put it bluntly, Keenan, it did lack a little. Last year, they had College Game Day planning to come there. They had freshman Zion Williamson looking to play, and the university did weeks-long campaign trying to break the attendance record. They did break the attendance record. Zion Williamson did not play. College Game Day did not show up, but the anticipation was there. This year, though, courtside seats went for over $3,000. Students still camped out. It's always an exciting game when you're against 2 rivals, so it wasn't as much as prior years, but definitely a fun game all the less.
And going forward on the basketball side, what does Syracuse need to do to make the tournament?
Yeah, well, first off, they need to beat Wake Forest this upcoming Saturday. Wake Forest is ranked at the bottom of the ACC, but I believe will still be a possible threat to Syracuse.
Thanks, Alexandra. The Syracuse men's basketball team will now prepare for Wake Forest on Saturday night at 8 p.m. Stay tuned for weather coming up after the break.